Three, two, one. Welcome to this week's Flippinar. This is Ty, aka the Flip Man, along with my executive producer, Adria, AP as I like to call her.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to show 21. Going live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Come on, catch up with me. Catch up, Ty. Catch up. Anyway, guys, welcome on this Thursday. I don't even know what the day is. Some day in September. It's so gloomy outside.
The 14th.
I know it's the 14th. I just didn't want to claim it. I hope everybody's faring well this wishy-washy weather. I know we have some viewers who are in Austin, Houston, and those that may be in Florida. I hope y'all fared well through the recent Mother Nature activities. So making prayers to you guys. Make sure you tell your friends, family, uncles, cousins, chickens, and dogs. Log on. Share this link with them. Have them watch, learn a few things, make a little bread, put a little money in pocket. Christmas is coming up, everybody. I'm going to post my Christmas list a little later. You know, for y'all that's working on deals, cutting checks. Think about your girl. What's up, Ty?
I'm trying to get this thumb ready, and then I'm gonna put the link here. So on Flippinars.com. So just one more second, and we'll be ready to rock. We got people already in the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at Instagram. Cash King Rules says, "What's up, Ty?" I'm actually still working on YouTube a little bit myself, and looking at Facebook. Let's see who.
It's on Flippinars.com. If you just want to go there and tap it, whatever. But you normally access it.
Yeah, I do normally just go straight to.
But it's ready now.
Straight to the site. So again, gonna start seeing where we got our shout outs from. People are located. Let's see, we got one comment on Facebook. I'm sorry, guys, my Facebook is loading rather slow, but I see everybody else. So slow.
I think it's slow on my end too, but
that's all right. Orlando, Hollywood Hills. Quinn says, "What's up, Spider-Man?" Atlanta, Polk County, Florida. Hello, Marvelous One. Welcome, Michigan, Houston. Let's see here. Dominique from DC. So we got a little Greenville, South Carolina. I'm trying to look through and see if I see a place that I haven't seen before. Not necessarily seeing here. I got a few questions going on Instagram. Hey, my man, bringing that heat. And let's see who this was on Facebook. Alex Kim says hello from Facebook. You're my lone person on Facebook right now. So go ahead and start posting your questions. As I say every week, I apologize in advance if I don't get to your questions. Not intentional. I try to go in order, but we're working on 3 platforms here, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So I'm answering as I go, and asking as we go along, but Instagram rolls up kind of quick, so I have to ask those kind of fast, and my Facebook rolls up kind of quick because I'm looking at it on the other screen. So I will get to your question. If it's a question that has already been asked before, you might be redirected to rewatch the video after it is done. But I'm ready to rock and roll. What about you?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right, Dylan, we're just gonna jump into YouTube. Says, have you heard of anyone say your contract doesn't work in their state?
I haven't heard that yet. Just off the top of my head, after I think about it a second, you'll always have, if they show it to an attorney or a title company, you'll have someone to say, hey, we need to do this or that. But that's just because of who you're dealing with, not that it won't work in the state. So, but then on the same note, you'll have attorneys and title companies say you can't wholesale. So To answer your question, it works everywhere. Just a simple contract. You know, a seller and yourself can literally write up a contract on their kitchen table. You know, if you all are not performing anything illegal, it's binding. So, you know, just a simple one-page contract. You bind the property as is. That eliminates a lot of the clauses that, you know, a realtor would rip out a 13, 14, 15-page contract. And that's more to cover them than anything. So to answer your question, yeah, you're good. Make it happen.
All right. Michelle Oglesby says she's having trouble finding motivated sellers. How can she find them?
What are you doing to find them is the first question I would ask. That's a follow-up she would need to make.
All right, Michelle, I hope you heard that. What are you doing to locate sellers? Let's see here. Instagram, Lovely Land 92 says 80% of my city homes are flooded. Should I still pursue wholesaling here?
Well, unless everyone moves away from your city, then the answer is yes, you should. Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
Well, let me say this now. What city are we talking about? If you're talking about the town I'm from, then no. Not where I live, but where I grew up, then no. What size city are we talking about? Let me be a little bit more clear on that. Interrupt you again, then.
Yeah, we ain't gonna start this week. We just not gonna do this. Okay, so Jay Parham says, hey, I was thinking about trying to do some deals in another city. Wanted to order signs with a local number, but how would I get that new number to route calls to my business line?
Well, it depends on what service you're using. Are you using an app that you can download like Sideline or Pinger? I think those are the same outfit. Or I think one is called Line 2. Then you got Google Voice. All of those offer forwarding option or if you download the app, it's just going to ring on your phone. You know, just going to ring on your phone. So that's a simple fix.
All right. Sticking with Instagram, statement rather. I have a deal that includes a property that was part of a bankruptcy. Please explain any challenges that the end buyer will face obtaining a clear title.
If it was part of a bankruptcy, more than likely you don't. It's not as cut and dry to pull a title and boom, you all close on it. If it's part of a bankruptcy, the title company will advise you on how to handle that, but it's not simple at all. Matter of fact, I think the bankruptcy may even prevent them from selling the property. I'm not sure how that works, but that's what the title companies are for. The ones that have came my way over the years, I've never been able to do a deal with them, you know, for one reason or another. So.
All right. That question about the 80% of the homes that were flooded, she was actually in Port Arthur, Texas.
I'm not sure the population of Port Arthur, but I don't know if it's a very small town, but obviously it's not a huge metropolitan area. I'll look that up right quick while we go to the next question.
All right. Let's see here. Question, Flipman. When would be a good time to buy up? Oh, goodness. Okay. Question, Flipman. When would be a good time to buy up them cribs out in Texas that was flooded and people lost, so we can start breaking necks and cashing checks? Nah, me. I'm going to read it the way it's supposed to be read. Hey, question, Flipman. When would be a good time to buy the cribs out in Texas that were flooded and people lost, so we can start breaking necks and cashing checks? You know what I mean? There you go.
I'm not sure what he's asking me. Do I want some of that? Is what he's asking me?
No, when would be a good time? Now, wait.
Oh, as soon as possible.
Last week.
As soon as possible. You know, you want to start marketing immediately. Immediately. Matter of fact, I spoke to a guy out there in Houston a couple of days ago, and I asked him would he like video some of the areas and stuff. And man, it's amazing. You know, just the streets that he was going down, just junk. You know, I guess people pulling stuff out of their houses that you know they can't use anymore, and it just like just piles of junk, just all the way down blocks or whatever. You know, really interesting to see. The population of Port Arthur is 55,000. So you know that's a small town, but not too small not to be able to do deals.
She says it has the nation's biggest refinery, but it's mostly all apartments that have been evacuated.
Yeah. How far is that from Beaumont? No, I guess I can look it up right here. I see that may be an option. But go ahead though. So it's some deals there. Just you know, it's a small town, so understand it's going to you're going to be limited there for sure. Yeah, Beaumont is 22 miles away, so you know less than 30 minutes away. So I would encompass Beaumont as part of my market, and the population of Beaumont is 118,000. So if you take both of those in consideration, then yeah, you can do some things there.
Okay. Alex asked a question. He says about cash offers. He lives in California, so the prices are a lot higher on homes. Do you know if it's normal for cash offers to be in the 300K range and more?
And again, back to Beaumont. Metro Beaumont is 400,000. So that's the number you really want to look at. Metropolitan Beaumont is 400. So that's 30 minutes away. So yeah, you make it happen. But
you keep cutting me off. I got some tea today. I'm keep drinking my tea. Wait, I'll let you finish.
I'm always just interested in population and stuff. Just a little thing of mine. But what was his question?
The question was about cash buyers in California.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's what people can afford. The deal where the couple in DC made, what did they make? 70 grand. That was a $500,000. I think what they had on the contract for 5 something. So that was a cash deal. They closed that in 10 days. It's irrelevant. You can find a deal for 10 million. If it's worth 20, you'll have a cash buyer in 10 days. It's irrelevant. If it's a deal, a great deal.
Okay. Let's see here. I tried to get a copy of your contract through text, but could not get it through my phone service. Is there another place to get your contract? And this is Roberto from Michigan.
Did he go to my website, flipman.net? He said he did what now? How did he try to get it?
The text.
Oh yeah, he need to go to flipman.net and submit his name and phone number. You can also go get the free contract there. And while we're talking about that, you can also go there to check on the courses and coaching. Also, you know, they have the 200 free videos here on YouTube. So, but yeah, to get a free copy of the contract, just go to flipman.net.
All right. Let's see here. Najee wants to know, have you ever been fined for using bandit signs?
I just answered that question on one of the other things for her, but I'll answer it again. I've never been personally fined. I've been called a couple of times, but we're talking over a 14-year period. No, to answer the question, no, I haven't.
Okay. Mark Lopez, Facebook asks, do you use seller side only HUD to prevent cash buyer from finding out how much your assignment fee is? Is it recommended?
I don't recommend it. If I'm dealing with a buyer that cares how much money I'm making and we agreed on a price that works for them, that's someone I don't want to deal with. This is about relationships on the buyer side. You won't repeat buyers. You got buyers that are concerned about how much money you're making, someone you don't want to deal with. There's too many other buyers out there. So to answer your question, I know seller side HUDs, not me. I'm not telling someone not to do it. Everybody's happy on closing day. Sellers getting what they said you all were going to give them. Buyers getting what they're supposed to be getting. You're getting what you're supposed to be getting. And the title company or closing attorney getting paid. So everybody happy on closing day.
All right. So David Thompson on YouTube says, asked rather, have you sent letters to a code violation list? If so, have you sent it to the whole list or to those with certain violations?
I personally have never done that. I look at an absentee list as being encompasses all. It's a shotgun approach. It's going to handle those tired landlords, out of town owners, probate, the code violation. So it handles all of that. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just answering your question. I just use the approach. I'm just going to target all absentee owners and just banking on that there's going to be a situation where they're motivated to sell that additional property.
All right. Bradley Bay wants to know, would contacting a regional manager of a national tenant be a good person to contact to acquire a LOI for a commercial wholesale deal I have?
You have to contact the person that's going to make that decision. A regional manager just may be a manager over stores. Now, probably in most cases, they know who you should be talking to, but normally they have someone designated for real estate development or expansion or whatever the term may be used to describe that position within that particular national retailer.
All right, Roberto, you have a question on YouTube, and it is a common one. So where's a good place to get bandit signs? I will answer that for you. dirtcheapsigns.com, dirtcheapsigns.com. You can actually contact them at area code 512-827-3466. Let them know that Ty the Flip Man referred you. You can get 5% discount. Not much, but it makes a difference off of your order. Do not order online. Don't. Just call the place to order to make sure that you get the discount and ask for Curtis or Christina. Hope y'all got that. I'll post it on YouTube. I think I covered everything. Go for white bandit signs with one-sided, either with red or blue ink if you're starting off. And kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Don't put too much on there. Promise you. Did I get it all?
Horizontal flutes.
Oh, always something else. Oh, whatever. Horizontal flutes. All right, hope that helps, guys. And when it comes time to hanging them, there is a video on how to do that properly. Yeah. And when it comes to day and time, the question, what days, there's a video on that as well. Check out the plus 200 videos available on YouTube. Answer all of your wholesaling question needs. Thanks to you by Ty the Flip Man Taylor. All right. Going on to our next question. Shaq, there's nothing on my shirt. He says, let us see your shirt, Adrian. It was a failed attempt at doing a sublimation.
No, don't tell him.
It's a failed attempt.
Anyway. No, I'm saying, but don't tell them what it was going to be. Just,
It could be a superhero of me. Thank you very much. I turned myself into a superhero. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we're going to continue on. I apologize for that moment there. Let's see here. Travis Jenkins has a property under contract with an agent, and he has one more day before my inspection ends, and he's still shopping a buyer. Do I still have time to find a buyer?
Assuming that you have a great deal, and you only have one day left in the inspection, that's going to have to be an executive decision, I'm sure. If you haven't already put up the earnest money, it's going to be, non-refundable, I assume, after tomorrow. So, I don't know how long your inspection period was for, but if you haven't found one by now, you're just going to have to make that executive decision. Am I confident I still can find a buyer, or I'm going to lose this earnest money, whatever the amount is, if that's the way you have your deal structured. So, I don't know enough about your deal to answer yes or no. I'm just telling you what your options are going to be there. So.
All right. Jay Parham on Instagram says, if you had to choose one list to mail to, which type of sellers would it be? Probate, absentee, code violations. And someone wanted to know where would these lists be obtained, specifically the code violation list.
Well, I guess I somewhat just answered that. So absentee is going to always be my first option, for sure, because it's going to encompass all of that. So as far as where you get code violation list, that's where you start at the city or county level of whatever municipality that you're targeting, and maybe in zoning, just maybe an actual title for a department called code violations. I'm not sure. You go down, start asking questions, you'll someone will send you in the right direction. And there's no definite answer on it because a lot of cities, counties do it differently from market to market. So, but to answer your question, absentee, because it's a shotgun approach. It's going to take in a lot of different options as far as who you're targeting. You know, where there's, again, tired landlords, code violation, probate, out of town owners, divorce, whatever. You know, it's targeting all of those that own additional properties.
Okay, let's see here. Carlos wants to know, when doing cold calling, what list would you recommend? What phone number lookup service do you use? So say an absentee list, you just answered that like 3 times, I understand. So what phone number lookup service do you use?
I use telephone directories.us, and my sister does most of that for me now. She got beyond that one. So I'm just going to say that one right now, but she does all that grunt work for me now. So she produces the numbers, and the numbers are producing action. So, so right now, telephone directories, they got added that to the course or whatever, but I'm not sure which one. I know she does all of that stuff for me now. So we're a couple of months removed from me doing it versus her doing it. So.
Okay. Let's see here. Are the checks from probates generally bigger than, say, just finding a for sale by owner?
Are they asking, are checks bigger from for sale by owner or probate? Well, both of those are the same thing in reality. A probate person is a for sale by owner, but I understand what they're trying to ask. There's no way to say that. You know, there's no way to answer that. You know, because each situation is going to be different. There's no way to answer that. That could be too vague or too broad.
All right. Steve James asks, can I put in my contract that the cash buyer has to pay for liens, back taxes, city violations, etc.? Heck yeah.
Say that again.
He asked, can I put in my contract that the cash buyer has to pay for liens, back taxes, city violations, etc.?
Well, yeah, you can. Everything is negotiable. It's going to probably have to depend on how attractive of a deal it is and how much of those fees that you're talking about. Normally, buyers are not interested in paying all that additional stuff. But again, it boils down how attractive of a deal it is at the end of the day. So you have to give me some numbers again. But again, it's still going to depend on that buyer and what they're willing to absorb for that particular deal.
All right. Born Power on YouTube asks, do I need a mentor to succeed in real estate investing, for example, wholesaling? Everybody is simultaneously shaking their head. No, you just need the 200 plus videos.
Yeah, you don't, that's going to depend on the individual. Everybody retains information differently. I didn't have a coach or a mentor. You know, I did get some training and education that I paid for, but I didn't have a coach and mentor, and still really don't. No one that I can call and feel like they know more than me. Not saying I know more than people, don't get me wrong, which I don't have that access. And I have people that I think that know as much as I do about particular thing. They may, and I guess depending on what we're talking about, they may know, but I don't really have anyone, quote unquote, a mentor. Let me just say that. So, but again, everybody's different. Where some people like to read books to learn something. I'm the type of person, if you just tell me how to do it, I can go out and do it. Other people say, well, I'm a hands-on person, blah, 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 whatever that means. That's them. So it just depends on the individual and how they can absorb information and then apply it. The biggest thing is being able to apply the information, mentor or not, or you take an action.
All right. Have you ever used or heard of myhousedeals.com?
Yeah. One of the videos, student Victor out of Baltimore, I think he split 32,000 with someone else. I think the guy that brought the deal to the buyer to the table actually found the buyer through My House Deal. So yeah, I'm very familiar with it.
Okay. Can you explain what virtual wholesaling is?
It's basically wholesaling properties that you're not physically in the same market. Basically, that's it. You know, you're putting deals together outside of where you live. You know, what you can literally probably drive to in most cases, within reason.
All right. Steve James says, if someone called me from a bandit sign telling me they want to sell a house and some apartment units, but they have their properties listed, can I tell them to take them off and do a FISBO?
Well, you can tell them to cancel the listing or whatever, but it's just going to depend on the deal itself. Number one, is it a deal? That's where it's going to all start and stop. And assuming that they can't or don't want to cancel the listing, or you're going to be dealing with them directly, or you're going to be dealing with the agent involved. So it's just going to depend. But yeah, you can always ask. That's negotiate. That boils down to negotiations. You know, everything's negotiable. Don't mean they're going to accept your terms, but you can put it on the table. You know, if that's a deal breaker for you that is listed, then it's a deal breaker.
All right. Jay wants to know, do I call the seller back after they tell me their offer to give me time to determine ARV? Call this.
Well, I guess they're asking, when should they call the seller back? Normally, if you don't know what the numbers work for you, or you need to call back and make an offer, and you need to do some due diligence, you know, just let them know you'll call them back either that day or the next day. It shouldn't take you more than, you know, one day to come up with that information. In reality, it should only take you about 20 minutes to do so. But anyway, yeah, you can definitely, you know, let them know you're going to call them back, but make sure that you do. And when you say you're going to call back.
All right. Travis has your one-page contract carbon copies, like you said to do. And I have a property under contract. So once it's time to use the contract, do I fill it out or let the title company fill it out? And who gets copies? I guess if he has a 3-page copy, what is it? White, yellow, pink, who gets what copy?
Well, man, what's fun, that's probably one of my older videos. I haven't did carbon copies in probably 2 or 3 years because everybody has email. It's rare I just put a contract in somebody's hand. So if I'm forced to do it, I just bring 2 copies or whatever. But to answer his question, it just depends. You give them whatever copy you want. You can give them the white one or the yellow one or the pink one. It's totally up to you. Now, I would probably keep the white one and give them one of the other ones, you know, but you're going to fill out the contract. The title company is not going to do that work for you. You're going to fill out the contract yourself. That's why I show you how to fill it out, you know, in several videos on my YouTube channel.
Okay, what are some things I should prepare for before buying and holding? I know the loan is supposed to have money for holding the property until its cash is flowing. Do you need good credit to refinance?
Yeah, in order to refinance a property, yeah, you're gonna have to have good credit to answer that question.
Okay, let's see here. What is considered a great deal? 30K plus equity or what?
It's not just as simple as it's not just that simple. You have to have more information on that. I'm assuming we're talking about houses. Um, you need to know what other houses of, what's the ARV? That's where it's going to all start. 30 grand on a $300,000 house, that's not enough. You're not going to spend, I don't know what the number, we'll just say you're 270 in, just for the sake of simple math. There are other costs that would put it above that, but you're 270 in, you're not going to spend $270,000 to make 30,000. It just doesn't work that way. But you may spend 30,000 to make 30,000, or 70,000 to make 30,000, so it just depends. We have to have some actual numbers to be able to apply for that to make sense, or for me to be able to explain it a little bit more in depth.
Okay. Jamila Ford on YouTube asks, do you close commercial deals using the same concept you use to close residential deals?
Well, if you have a buyer and seller in place, it's the same. But to get to that point, it's just like, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but like a lake and a ocean. Both of them are body of waters, but they're totally different. So it's a different process to get to a buyer and seller, and how you evaluate a property. The contracts are different. Why the property is worth what it's worth. The discount that you need for houses is not as significant with commercial. I can go on and on, but it's totally different animal.
All right. Someone asked, what is a title company and how do they come into play?
Well, a title company, whenever there's a transaction of a piece of real estate, what a title company's purpose, well, probably their main purpose is, number one, to see the person that says they own it. Number one, do they have any liens that would prevent the deal from the title for producing a clear title? Are there any mortgages that are outstanding that need to be settled? Unpaid taxes, all of those things are factor in. Do they own it? What liens are tied to the property? And then the title company, if they say it's a go, on top of that, they will provide title insurance for the buyer. So I think I defined it pretty well. I'm not sure.
Okay. Hey, Ty and Adria, what do you use to make the holes for the zip ties in the bandit signs? That's W from Royal Pompano Beach. What do you use?
Well, a Phillips head screwdriver would actually work, but it tends not to put a large enough hole in the sign. So I use what they call a nail pointer. You can get those from Home Depot or Lowe's. I like to use the DeWalt, DEWALT brand. They're yellow and black. There you go, nail pointer.
I was called a nail driver.
Maybe, Adrian.
I'm just saying. Anyway, but yeah, it works a lot better.
Car, truck, both are automobiles.
It doesn't take a lot to put the hole in. I do prefer that as well. Yeah. It works quickly too. Boom, boom, done. But again, watch the video on that because it would save you a lot of time. Make sure you already have your zip ties in your signs before you go riding around. They should already be ready to go. Hop out the car, boom, boom, zip, going about your business. Unless you're fortunate enough to have someone riding with you to, pull up on the stop sign, drop them off, and they run back in the car. But if not, be safe, be careful. Let's see here. Mr. Thompson wants to know, where do you find great comps if you don't have access to MLS? And we'll tie that into finding comps for commercial real estate. So where do you find good comps if you don't have MLS? And how do you find comps for commercial real estate?
Well, with comps for our residential, which I have a number of videos on, and I hate to keep referencing that, but I'll try to explain. When I started, Zillow, Trulia, HomeSnap, ePraisal, Realtor.com, those sites are not the mammoths that they are now. So those are where you could compare values. So you don't need access to MLS because there's so much free information out there. I have a really good video I think that I did on, it's the title is Top 3 Ways to Calculate ARV. I probably did about 2 or 3 months ago. So I would encourage you to go do a search for that particular video on YouTube, and you'll get an actual visual of what I mean on how you can use, especially Zillow, to determine ARV. Now, as far as commercial real estate, you can pull up comps and see what other properties are sold for. But in reality, commercial is based on the income that either property is producing or can produce. So the comps are not as influential as they are with residential properties, because see, the value of residential properties go up because of what other houses are sell for, or go down because of what other houses are sold for. Whereas with commercial, it doesn't work that way. It's all about the income, NOI, and cap rates. If you're not sure what NOI and cap rates are, Google is your friend.
All right. You know what I forgot, Ty?
Yes, ma'am. The bell.
The bell. God.
I thought about it, but I thought you were gonna get. I was actually in this Halloween store today, and I thought about something like that, but I thought you were gonna do your executive producer.
I had a lot going on this week, Ty. I just really did. Man, okay. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Here's our first Is It a Deal question of the day, brought to you by Mr. David Thompson on YouTube. You ready?
Yes.
Let me get my calculator out. Okay. He has a property under contract that had a double murder in it. The property is worth $155K, and the seller recently listed it for $115 and could not sell it. I have it under contract for $40K. Is that low enough to sell this type of property? Have you had trouble selling these types of properties?
Does he have did he give an ARV on that?
155.
And he has it under contract for 40?
40.
The double murder really won't matter with that type of deal. I'm the kind you live for, man. I'm assuming they've already cleaned the house up or whatever.
Ain't nothing a little Clorox couldn't kill.
I'm telling you, matter of fact, just to give you an example, I didn't do a deal on this deal, but when I was doing a little other business, and the guy used to work for me, he was a part of how many is 5? How many is 5 people? I know quadruple is 4, right? So what's the next? Quintuple. Quint.
Yeah, Quinn.
Yeah, quintuplet murder. So 5 people were murdered in the house, and within a couple of months, they painted it and rented it right back out. And everybody know what happened there because it was on the news for months, or whatever. So if those numbers are right, man, you won't have a problem moving there. You shouldn't have them. Something is broken in your chain of letting buyers know this property exists. That's unless it just needs $100K in repairs, but which I doubt. That's one of those smoking deals there, man. Smoking.
All right. I hope you can pull something off and it comes out. Let us know. Keep us posted. And yes, syndicator, no. The answer is no. I'm not even going to humor you with asking the question. Goodness gracious. Always.
Real quick, a new student that came on board last week, Nikel, just shout him out or whatever. He just texted me. He was texting me a question. I told him I was on the Flippinars, so he said he was watching. So what up, homeboy?
Post a question. Um, Fred, Fred from Maryland on Instagram is asking, where do you order your signs? I answered that maybe no more than 10 minutes ago. It's dirt cheap signs, but after we're done, just play it back and you'll get that information. I'll post it if you're on YouTube as well. I know a lot of you viewers are on Instagram and YouTube because I'm learning y'all's double names. So yeah, just check that out, Fred. Okay, so Lawrence Scott on Facebook says, what is the price to fly you to my state, which is Colorado, and walk me through a deal?
You need to text me on that, man. I don't quote prices online or whatever because stuff will change. Just text or call me about that. It ain't cheap. Let me just tell you. I'm just be straight up and walk you through a deal. Now understand that if I come to your city, I got to come back home. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to pay me to live up there, I got a price for you. We could do that, but it won't be worth, for what you're going to learn. But if you want me to come up there, basically treat it as if I was going to start to do business there and hand that to you whenever I come back home, that's where the real coaching starts to play, what we'll do by phone, text, email, or whatever, but I would have an idea of what you're looking at, with the time that I'm up there in your market, but I couldn't be there long enough to actually walk you through a deal. You know what I'm saying? Even if you had a deal ready to go or whatever, it still would probably take a couple of weeks, So every day I'm up there, the meter would be running, you know what I'm saying? So, but again, I would come there and treat it as if I was going to start to do business there, from where I would start, how we would market. We would actually probably go out and look at some houses to give you an idea how to estimate repairs. We'll meet with some agents just to show you how to feel. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to some actual sellers face to face or whatever, just to show you some negotiation. So again, I would treat it as if I was going to start to do business there myself and basically hand that to you. But where the real coaching would come from is when you're at home and I'm back at my market or whatever, and we start to put things together. You put things together as far as trying to find deals through your marketing efforts, which I would have shown you what I would have done in your market. So, but again, I offer it, but it ain't cheap. Just text me.
All right. So Alex Kim's question on Facebook, and that was Lawrence Scott's question you just answered so thoroughly. He wanted to know, on your website, to become a student, when I make a payment on PayPal, how do you get all of my information? I would suggest him messaging you as well.
Yeah, just text me on a question like that, man. I'll go into more detail on. Like I said, I don't like to put the method because it may change. These videos 2 years from now, somebody say, "Well, you say it," because I get that now. You know what I'm saying? So I get videos when I think. Some company I was working with on bandit signs, they were giving away 25 free bandit signs. And I still get people that you still getting away those 25. That video is probably 5 years old. So man, that's a 5-year-old video. So I'm careful about quoting stuff like that because it changes as far as when we get into pricing and offers or whatever. So just text me and I can, I'll be happy to share with you. Text me after this is over or call me, either or is fine.
All right. So back to that, is it a deal question we asked earlier. People are asking, what can your potential highest profit you make with that type of profit margin on David's deal be? In your opinion, it was under contract for 40, ARV 155. We'll just say 5,000 in repairs. What would you put it out?
5,000?
Maybe not even that.
Well, we'll say 15,000. Let's be a little reasonable here. Let's say 15. So we're at 55. There's no way he shouldn't make a minimum of 25 grand on a deal like that. A minimum of that. Because we're at 55. He may make, a minimum that's 25 is 80. Man, he anywhere from 25 to probably 40 grand he should clear on a deal like that, assuming the repairs are 15 grand and his numbers are right. That's a smoking deal.
Well, still clean. Um, let's see here. Hey, Ty and Adria, how long do I have to wait for a buyer to show proof of funds and deposit of earnest money? He signed the contract 3 days ago.
The earnest money, I don't really ask for proof of funds. I let the earnest money and the speed of how they take care of that says volumes on how that's handled or whatever. So they don't have to put it in my hands. I just need to be able to verify with whatever title company, escrow company, whatever they call it in your market, or closing attorney that is there or whatever. So. But within no more than 2 business days. Other than that, you hey man, we don't have a deal, so you need to be moving on to someone else.
All right. Honora Young on YouTube has a property that she spoke to an investor about. She showed him the video with all of the specifications, but he wants the address. What should I do?
Talking about the property I showed, it was for me?
No. Her question is, she's given an investor, well, you would have had to give them the address anyway. I don't know. I guess she's saying that, let me read it again. Hi, Ty. I have a property that I have spoke to an investor about. I've showed him the video with all of the specification, but he wants the address. What should I do?
Oh, you need to give him the address. If you have it on the contract.
He can make a truly informed decision on whether he wants it or not unless he knows where it is.
You got to do that. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that. You get him the address. If it's property that's occupied, then you need to let him know that it's occupied. He can drive by it. Don't get out walking around and all that stuff. You'll set up a time to look at it. But it's a vacant, hey, let it rip or whatever. So, but yeah, you got to give him the address. There's no way around that. You don't want to advertise the address online, in my opinion.
Okay. Sean, we answered your question. Your question was in regards to where the title company fits in. Yeah, we answered that. I'm not sure if you missed it. Got to tell you, wait till we end.
Yeah, that's probably about 44 minutes in. So, because we started on pretty much on time. So about 40. We'll just say 43 minutes in, I answered that question on the replay.
All right, let's see here.
I guess we do a really good job of this live deal because, people, they ask questions on it like, where do I post my check? It may be one of our Flippinars from 4 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that trips me. I guess people don't, for me, I take for granted how familiar I am with YouTube, which I think most people are, but I guess not. That I always look at the date of something. I don't care what video I look at on YouTube. I always look at the date that they posted it. You see what I'm saying? I know a lot of people don't even probably know where the date is there. So, but I get it. But again, I guess we are live, but at some point it's going to go into replay mode within really about 10 minutes after this end. YouTube is really fast about doing that. So.
All right, let's see here. LaDebra wants to know, do you use your formula on every deal or are there special circumstances where it won't apply?
Well, I really don't even use a formula. That's for people that's starting out more than anything, so you can understand. I just know the number when I hear it. Whatever, based on the price, obviously repairs or whatever. But to answer your question, that formula is really it's more than just a being in all number that I need to go by. It's more used to prevent you from wasting time on properties that have no chance of being a deal. Like I got a student of mine helping me with making calls on, using findsellers.net, that technique that you can get. But, he's aggressive. He's way more aggressive than I am. And so the people like he texted me earlier today, they told him 125 and the property is really probably only worth about 110. And he said, well, he still wants an offer. We have to still make an offer on it. So I don't even make offer on stuff like that. ARV is 110 from my research, and they want 125. We're so far off from it being a deal that is ridiculous. That I don't need to do a formula on that. Do I need to do a formula on that?
No.
Now offers are free. I just, I don't like to get cussed out as much as possible. Some people don't care, which they got more data than me. So the way I handle that, and I'm not telling you to do it this way because offers are free. They say they want 125, hit them back with 50. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? They may accept it because the response may be, well, let me just tell you how I do it. I'll let them know that, hey, that number doesn't work for me. But if anything changes, please give me a call back. Now, some people be like, well, what will you pay? All right, now, if they ask me that, then I'll hit them with probably 50. Not expecting them to accept it, but my follow-up, if they reject it, is, well, how close can you come to that amount? So what I'm trying to accomplish is, what is their least amount? So with me throwing that ridiculous number out there, I'm going to either get their least amount or, hey, they're going to think I'm a clown. May think that anyway. So that's how I handle it. But he just raw dog. He's gator about it. He wants a number from me. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I'm already knowing with this, don't waste any more time on it. He wants to call him back and give him a number. But that's what I need because I ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody gator like that. So, but anyway, so I forget what the question was, but I think I answered it.
I think you answered a long time ago.
Oh, boy.
Craig Thomas has a good question. People ask it every week. And I've been struggling with this, Craig, but he wants to know, how many properties do you analyze before you find a deal?
A lot. A lot. I don't have any statistical data to back this, but just from experience, so obviously pay attention to it, but it really just breaks down to this. If you want to do, we'll just say 5 deals a month, that means you probably need to be talking to 5 people per day. So that's over a 30-day period. So that's 150 people you'll talk to. So you're operating on a 3 or 4% success rate, right? If my math is correct on that, somewhere in there. So that means 145 of those people that you talk to were not going to be a deal, at least at this time. So only 5 of those a deal, but I say only, that may mean 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, you know what I'm saying? So it just depends on where you are. So hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, if the repair costs are high, can it still be a good deal if the wholesaler gets it under contract for a low enough price?
Well, using that example we were just talking about, he had it at 155. But I mean, the ARV is 155. Even if the repairs were 40 grand, that was still going to be a deal. So it doesn't matter about how much, it does matter, but it doesn't matter in the sense of being a deal just because a deal breaker because of the amount of repairs. Just depends on what the ARV is. If there's still room enough there for an investor to cash in along, obviously, and you to get paid. So, it's relevant, but it's irrelevant if the numbers work out.
All right. Ezekiel on Instagram says he has a seller that is going to get a contract from his lawyer, but I want to use the one you use, the one-page contract. How can I handle the situation?
Oh, it can be a deal breaker. You let the seller. Let me just say this. This stuff only works well and works consistently because we have control from beginning to end, especially with the seller. The buyer may have a little less control, but with a seller, so they're either going to want to do it your way, or obviously when they started bringing an attorney, what people have to understand about attorneys, they're not going to do nothing for free, right? But in order, they could probably look at the contract that I have in 10 minutes and say, oh, this really worked. But they can't justify charging you or charging the seller for that 10 minutes. So they're going to mark something up, or they just say, no, we're going to use my contract. So now, bam, give me $500 for using my contract. I'm just finna print out. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So but a lot of people don't understand that or whatever. Because the contract is simple, man. You're buying it as is. That eliminates everything or whatever. So But again, it's just going to be up to you. I wouldn't, I'd be like, nah, we're using mine. Well, let me back. I'm a negotiator. After I looked at the contract, but normally I'm not even going to get that far in the conversation. It would have to just be an all-timer as far as a deal, But normally, they just don't go hand in hand. A great deal and somebody talking about their attorney producing a contract, they normally don't go. Anything can have, you always going to have outliers, but it just normally doesn't work that way. So everything's negotiable. Generally speaking, I can't even think of a time where I've used an attorney's contract that a seller produced, because they're going to do it on my terms. It'd be no different if they gave me a price that doesn't work for me. But that's going to have to be up to you.
All right. Have you ever this is from Instagram. Have you ever did a wholesale deal and have you ever did a virtual wholesale deal and have you ever got a deal from an online auction?
Technically, I guess, yeah, I have done a virtual wholesale, a couple of them in Memphis, but I had friends there. So I don't know if that really counts. People that I could trust on the ground there. So I guess technically, no, not on residential. And then on the auction thing, see, you have to have the right type of buyer on something like that, because the auction is going to want you to sell up within 10, 20, 30 days or whatever. So you're going to have the right type of buyer for that type of transaction. So I guess it's possible, but what I call a lazy buyer, because what prevented the buyer from going to that same or bidding on that same auction or whatever. So unless he just wasn't aware of it. And again, that goes back to me saying they're a lazy buyer and they just want you to feed them deals. Everybody wants those, and they do exist, but you can't really live off those. So, because they're hard to find.
All right. So, Jushan on Facebook says, when a potential seller starts asking if you're a realtor and you inform them you're not, however, they start asking for business addresses and license and you inform them you're a buyer, do you keep dealing with them?
They're not motivated. The motivated seller just don't talk like that, guys. I'm just telling you. They just don't ask those questions. And when they do ask me those questions, I tend to get a little attitude. I have to catch myself, and I know I'm not even like that. You know what I'm saying? So I live in X. I pay cash for how I live. I say, well, where your office at? I work out of my home, which is the truth. You know what I'm saying? So what else do what do you want me to do? Are you registered with the Better Business? Well, huh? In the famous word of Lamont Sanford, I'm not a member. So the motivated sellers just don't ask those dumb, questions or whatever. So,
y'all don't get him started on the Fred Sanford quote, please. No, we're not gonna do. In the words of Grady Wilson,
greatest sitcom ever.
Nope. No. No. You're not gonna do this. Oh my. All right. So Justin Sykes has a potential is it a deal? So he's been watching the videos for about a month and a half now, and he feels ready to take the next step. He found a property in Little Rock, currently on the market for $12,000. I talked the owner down to $9,000 and it's worth $40,000. She says that it's minor repairs and currently has a tenant living in it until the 1st. Does that make this particular deal a good one?
He got it. It's only the ARV is only 9.
No.
The ARV is only 40. And you got it under contract. Boy, that's a low ARV. Whew. You may be able to do something with that. It would be worth normally what I would tell a student, it's worth going out and take a look, and then you have to make your decision, once you take a look at it and, surrounding houses or whatever. And But it's worth going out and take a look. Probably need to get it a little cheaper or whatever. Then it depends on what type of tenant they're, how much they're paying. It may be attractive to somebody else. So, but it's worth a look.
All right. Sticking with that, we have one. Now, this one I'm going to say sounds more.
Hold on. Let me reload Instagram.
I'm still. Oh, I just went. Oops.
Yeah.
Yep, it did die on me. Let's see. Yes, Webb, we're gators. Yes, no need for sensitive gators. That's right, Dominique. Chomp, chomp. Get gator. Did you just say, oh, I can't with you. Let's see here.
I was thinking, so we'll wait till it comes back up.
All right, guys, we have been on this Thursday for about an hour now. We always run just a little bit over, make sure we get to some questions that I might have bounced around, skipped around. Chauncey don't come with no Esther quotes. Fish-eyed fool. Okay, we got to leave Sanford Sun alone. This video will be available on YouTube approximately 10-15 minutes after we're done. You can most definitely go back and watch it. Any questions that weren't answered. I know Ty sometimes goes through and responds. If you're interested in his course, you need to message him on flipman.net. As far as the signs, there's a video on that, but I'll say it again, Dirt Cheap Signs. The number is posted. Everything else is probably available in one of the 200 plus videos available on YouTube. And guys, you just got to jump out there. You have pretty much all the knowledge you need. Just jump out there and do this thing. Okay, so we're back up on Instagram for any of those that were doubling down. Go ahead and log back on there. And another question, I guess people are using that 155K as an example. Using David's deal of the 155K, at what point do you think an investor / buyer would say no to the deal? Why would they say no to the deal?
You mean I guess they mean it for its price?
No, Davis was the 155 that was for 40, but it had the double murder in it, I think.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So he was just saying, at what point would an investor say no to that? Why would somebody say no to it?
What are the repairs?
So as far as you can tell, that would be the only deal breaker?
Yeah, it's going to be repairs. You know, how extensive are the repairs? What's the estimated cost? If the repairs are 80 grand, then yeah, it's a no deal.
All right. What I was going to ask you before Instagram went down, and this is another, is it a deal? But I'd like to say it's more, it's closer to home for the type of area I'm in, I guess, for right now. And Coach Manson brings it on YouTube. I have a property under contract for $4,000. It's a small home, 800 square feet. The after repair value is $36K. It needs about $10K in repairs. Now, if you add an additional bedroom, it brings the repairs to $20K with an ARV goes to $60. Is that a deal?
So the after repair value was what?
$36, as is.
Wait a minute. What does 60 come in at then?
If you add an additional bedroom to it, then it could go for 60.
No, normally.
Hold up. Maybe this one. Oh, I think he meant this is a 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing there, man. Move on. There's nothing there, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, cuz.
Not
about adding bedrooms and all that stuff. You don't have anything there. Now, if you say if you add 1 bedroom and it goes from 100 to 150 or something, you know, which normally a bedroom's not going to do that, but then you're talking about. But what you're talking about, it don't work that way, man.
Okay, Daniel Upshaw on Facebook says, I've been a wholesaler for 3 years. I make low 6 figures annually, but I want to scale and make mid or high 6 figures. What would you suggest I do to boost my income in real estate? I guess you need to know what he's already doing, right?
Yeah, I have to know what you're already doing in order to answer that question.
Okay. How can a bird dog commercial deals with you from my state of North Carolina?
Well, and I just was thinking about that. I forgot I like to mention that in the beginning of the Flippinar. But on the commercial side of the game, that self-storage, multifamily, retail strips, single tenant for the most part, but that's a little tricky there. But we're just going to say multifamily and retail centers and self-storage. It needs to, number one, they need to be off market. So if you can Google their address and they're on advertised online somewhere, I'm not going to be interested, just straight out the top. If you're not dealing with the owner and maybe a broker, obviously, but no seller reps, no NAD, or the NCD or whatever, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not going to be interested. So there's the criteria right there. I won't even try to get into numbers, because you have to look at so many anyway before you get to an actual opportunity. So those are just the bare bone necessity. They need to want to sell, obviously. You need a price, obviously. And then any number of those types of properties, you need to be either dealing directly with the owner or their broker. And it needs to be off of market. So most of the time, if it's with a broker, it's going to be on market. So probably not going to be a broker involved. But if you're dealing directly with the owner, no one between you and the owner, then yeah, I'm gonna be interested, So, and then obviously if it's off market. So there you go.
All right. If I'm telling a seller I'm coming with cash, but I have a finance in buyer, does the contract bind still? All right.
You understood it?
I guess she told the seller that she's using cash, but she asked her buyer is actually financing the deal. Is the contract still binding?
If a buyer needs financing on a residential wholesale deal, you really don't have anything in most cases. Now, I know there's people probably out there got some creative ways of doing it. I'm just telling you, you don't have anything. You need cash buyers.
Okay, as far as that question of was from Daniel on Facebook, what would you suggest to do to boost his income? He is a full-time wholesaler. I guess in addition to wholesaling, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, well, if you're kidding like that, the next level for you is try to get into commercial. That would be the next level for you. You can text me or whatever and see. You don't have to go through me, but you know what I offer or whatever. Go to flipthisbuilding.com. That's one of the things that I do. Obviously, I have the wholesaling apartment. So the next thing for you is to get into commercial. If you want to wholesale or you want to try to hold some properties. Again, I'm not the only game in town, but if you want my opinion or what I have to offer on educating or coaching on that, just hit me up, call or text me.
Okay, David, we keep coming back to your deal. You're going to have to let us know how this pans out. Don't mess it up, David. But he did respond and says that only repairs is to replace the floors and paint in every room, which he estimates at $5 to $10K. So, sounds good. $50K for $155K.
Yeah, man, I'm the deal of a lifetime right there, man.
How long does it take to see results from bandit signs? How many do I need to put out to get the phone ringing?
Well, in my opinion, some of it's luck, but just assume everything is going the way it normally does. Probably once you get above 50, it'll start to bleed in a little bit. 100, a little more. Once you get above 150, probably 120 or 30 of those are still out. Then you'll start to see a consistent number of calls, but understand that you're going to still be putting them out. So you're still going to be compounded on that. So if you're doing a good job at that, you're just going to get calls, so it's just a matter of time to do a deal. Now, how long it takes to do a deal, no way to tell you that because I don't know how long it'll take you to get to that 150 mark. But you don't, if you've never done it before, you don't want to just go out and put 150 signs in a couple of days, you know, and because the worst thing you would want to happen is you put out 150 in a couple of days and a couple of days later they're all down, you know, so you want to, it needs to be a gradual thing if you've never done it before. Because some of it's just flat out testing in your market. But the easy thing to do is to place signs where other signs already exist. And then you can test in the other areas a few signs where they don't exist to see how long they stay up.
For y'all watching this, just be honest with me. Do I look like a fish gasping for air every time he finished talking? And then I go, and then he starts back talking. Then he starts back talking. We're going to do a 3-second rule for you, Ty, from now on. I'm going to give you 3 seconds from your last word for you to come back in and say something else. And then I'll go.
Okay. All right.
1, a 2, a 3. We're good. Okay. Trio Success on YouTube asks, is this the deal? He found a motivated seller. The house is worth $118K, but the houses around it are worth $140. The seller is currently renting out this house. Repairs and renovations, he is asking for $50,000. Is it a good deal?
So the asking price is $50,000?
Yep.
And the repairs are what?
Actually doesn't say.
Okay. But he said the
comp for the house is 118. All the after repair value for the house is 118, but there are homes in the area going for up to 140.
That's not.
Well, the tax assessed value. I don't know.
I mean, well, are they going? Is the ARV 118 or is it 140? Because if the houses are selling for 140 of like size and everything else to go into play, then that's the value. It's 140. So, but even at 118, that's still a deal at 50 grand. You know, so
depending on repairs.
Depending on repairs, yeah.
Trio, what are the repairs? Because you're typing that pretty quickly. What are the repairs? Do you know? And thank you, Arthur. Arthur said, not like a fish, more like a bird. A bird grasping for a worm. Thank you. Yeah, the after repair value is 118. What about the repairs? How much are the repairs that the home needs, Trio? And he or she hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, 50 is a reason that you would go out there and take a look for sure, though.
Okay, so go take a look at it. You might have your deal there, Trio. Good luck with that. Let's see here. What's wrong with you, girl? You so crazy. You're welcome, Mimi. Let's see here. The next question we're going to go with, on the commercial side, how do I talk the seller into paying an earnings money deposit after the 45-day due diligence period?
You just make the offer. Either they accept it or they don't. You just make the offer. Either they accept it or they don't. Again, no different than price. They accept it or they don't. So then if that's a deal breaker for you, then you move on.
Okay. Do I need an LLC to begin?
No. You don't need one to begin. If you could put it in, if you have the resources to do everything else you need to do, and that at the same time, you can put it into motion, but don't let that prevent you from actually trying to do deals.
Veronica, thanks for the love. You have a blessed weekend too, love. Let's see here. Shamice, Irma took all my bandit signs. Get you some more, honey pot. Hang them up. And let's see here. Someone says, I've been putting signs out past 3 weeks. A lot of them do get taken down pretty fast.
Yeah, you need to be, was that all of it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you need to just be a little bit more creative, think outside the box. Don't be so obvious on main streets, you know, get within the neighborhoods, streets that enter onto a main street. Be a little creative off freeway exits, what am I trying to say? Drive-through, fast food, drug stores, what else have drive-throughs? Banks. Just be a little bit more creative and visible, but invisible. Just don't automatically put them in the busy intersections or whatever, because those are easy for the sign haters to pull down. So.
All right, Levon Brown, I am scrolling up looking for your question. If you want to go ahead and repost it, I'll get to it. Bradley Bay on Facebook, on a triple N commercial wholesale lease of say 500,000, if the rent is 6,000 per month at 11% cap, does the tenant buyer pay the 1-year lease up front and I get my cut on assignment? Or does the tenant buyer pay rent every month and I receive my cut every month for the first year?
No, and the way I explain it is done, you're getting your money up front. You're out of the deal. Once you're paid to put the deal together, find the deal, getting a commitment from a tenant and then a buyer, you're cashed out of the deal, if I understood his question correctly.
All right, Mimi, you're asking what other ways you can put the bandit signs up other than the H stakes? Zip ties, love.
Yeah, cable ties, zip ties, Home Depot, 14 inches. I like the clear color. Adrian likes black.
But anyway, so Mimi, seriously, there is a video for that on how to hang them. I know y'all get tired of us. I see y'all's comments.
But the visual is better than me telling you on some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Right.
All right. So Levon, still waiting for you to repost that question for me. Let's see here. George says, I only have an Android phone right now. So how do I put the physical contract on my phone so I can email it? Email isn't specific to a phone brand, is it?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure what the question is, because if you're trying to fill out a contract, it's going to be difficult to do it on your phone anyway. So if you don't have a PC or a laptop, then the library is a great place, or FedEx office is a great place to use their facilities, or somebody that or whatever. So.
All right, Levon, I found your question. I had to scroll up a bit and I did skip it. I'm not sure I got the questions around it, but what should the contract entail between myself and another wholesaler? And at what point should we have it prepared? I have a potential buyer for a property that he is under contract with. We are JV.
What?
Mm-hmm. You want me to read it again?
I need a refresh on that one. Say that again. Say that again.
Okay. What should the contract entail between myself and another wholesaler? And at what point should it be prepared? He's JVing on a deal with someone else.
Is it your deal or the wholesaler's deal?
He says, I have a potential buyer for a property that is under contract with the other wholesaler. He has the buyer, the other has the property.
Well, the way I would handle it is that the wholesaler and I would have to, either he's going to give me a price and we do a purchase and sales agreement, and whatever I make above that I keep, or we're going to just go at the price that he has with the seller and do a contract, and we split whatever's made with the buyer that I'm bringing to the table. So that's how I would do it. But I'm using a purchase and sales agreement, not using a JV, quote unquote JV contract or whatever. I want to be in the chain where I ensure that I'm going to get paid.
I guess there's a phone app, Adobe Fill and Sign. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with that. No.
Okay, let's see here. Where do you find end buyers on 5 million plus commercial deals?
On residential?
Commercial. Big money deals. Cash buyers.
So what do you find? What do you find buyers? Well, the easy thing is just through commercial brokers. You got plenty of folks out there with that type of bread, a bunch. So it depends on what you're offering. What do you have available? But commercial brokers would be my first option. They're all over the country.
All right. Do you have videos on fix and flip deals?
Not my thing. Done it before, actually in the process of one right now or whatever with a student, but not my personal thing. I know how to do it or whatever, done enough of it. But to answer your question, no, that's a different animal.
Okay. Is it worth doing wholesale deals with mobile homes?
Well, yes, the opportunity is there. You just have to understand it's not the same as doing with a house because sellers have title in hand, and you can easily get squeezed out of a deal. So it's all about timing, and or you have to simply buy the house, the mobile home first, and which somewhat defeats the purpose of wholesaling. So it's a timing thing with mobile home because they're just like a car. You know, someone you're just going to buy a used car for someone, they have title in hand or whatever. So the buyer and the seller meet, they don't need you. You see what I'm saying? They sign the title, bill of sale, it's theirs now. You know, that's in the mobile homes are the same way. So it's more of a timing thing, and or you have to buy it first. So.
All right. Tying in with Michelle Fraser's question, how do you handle a situation when the seller is present when showing the property to a buyer?
Make sure and the buyer understands that pricing needs to be discussed with me. Any other questions about the property history or whatever, you can talk to the seller, but I'm walking around. We're all walking around together to ensure everything stays on track.
All right. Let's see here. Besides going to your buyers list and Craigslist, how do you go about marketing your deals?
Well, those are two things, obviously, but bandit signs in the area go a long way as far as finding a buyer for a property. House for sale, 55,000 cash, your phone number, handwritten signs, making sure you use the right marker, white signs, you know, and red. I like red and black. I really like red and blue, but the blue is hard to find in those extra bold size markers. But that's probably that your phone's gonna ring more with that method than any method, you know. So because buyers that are in those markets, in that area, that do business in those areas, they're in those areas on a daily basis. So they know when they see a price that's a deal, they know it when they see it.
All right. Tavon Little says, I'm sending my properties via email to cash buyers I've met at REIA meetings. I've included the property info and asking price. Do I need to include the addresses? I included pictures as well. How y'all asking folks to buy these houses and you ain't telling them where it is?
Yeah, if you're just passing out flyers, okay, I would include the address on that because that's not online. So yeah, I would include. Yeah, they got to know where it is. You know what I'm saying? They just know where around it. I'm just not going to advertise the address online or whatever. But they got to know. Well, if a buyer shows interest, that's the only way they're going to be able to make a decision on it. They got to know the address. It's the only way they can do their due diligence on it. But hey, I think we are an hour and 25 minutes, 24 minutes in now. Hey, like you ready to rip, but I'm ready to rip out. So, hey, so guys, we appreciate you all showing up tonight. Man, we got a lot of questions in. Hopefully, answered most of them with something that can help you. Make sure you take advantage of the 200 plus videos that I preach about, but it's all there and it's real. I think there's enough information there to you definitely do a deal. That's not enough. You need a step-by-step coaching. I do offer that at flipman.net. You want the one-page contract that I've used since 2003. You can get that at flipman.net by submitting your name and phone number. I have a podcast, if that's your thing, for Apple and Android devices, flipmanpodcast.com. You can access some of my content there also. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at flipman.dotnet, flipman.net is spelled out. Same thing on Snapchat and on Twitter, the Flipman. So, Adrian, you got anything else you want to add, baby girl?
I have none. I enjoyed you all. I enjoy reading your responses, questions. Make sure to tune in next week. Bring a friend. Bring a friend.
Oh yeah, make sure you share this, and this will go into replay mode within 5 or 10 minutes after we end it. So again, we appreciate you all showing up for this week's Flippinar, and we will see you all on the
Flip side.